Hey, Curtis.
Hey, Sean.
You know, most of the time we're known for great beauty.
Yeah, sure.
But there's a flip side to every coin. So we cannot have great beauty without hideous disgust.
Yeah.
So today we're talking about the 5 most disgusting, hideous guitars ever made in the history of luthiership.
Yeah, exactly. The worst of the worst.
The worst of the worst. And you're the man who knows about this. We're a well-educated man.
I've seen a lot. There's war stories behind these eyes.
r/ just rolled into the shop. Vintage acquisitions for Guitar Center for many years. So you know a thing or two about.
Ooh, I mean, doing that job, I saw some of the coolest stuff you'll ever see. I saw, 1959 Les Pauls and the Dream and the Grail. I also saw some of the greatest atrocities that have ever been known to the guitar.
So shield your eyes, children.
Hide your baby, hide your wife, hide your dog.
Yeah, it's gonna get real ugly
in
here. Now, first of all, I wanna have a disclaimer. Like some of the real out there stuff, we're just disqualifying.
Right.
Like 80% of like the small company NAMM stuff, it just doesn't count.
It's too far out.
Right. It's like they're one-offs. These are for the most part things that they thought they had a shot.
Right. These are all. Wait, hold on. Let me just check. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, all of these are guitars, except for one. All of these are guitars that were in production. They made hundreds of these.
Right. It wasn't just some like wild nonsense. Right. Right. Okay. So let's get it going. Number 5, the PRS Silver Sky. Just kidding.
But not actually.
Just kidding, but not totally kidding. But just kidding for the sake of the list. All right. Number 5. What do we have?
The one, the only, the Gibson Corvus.
I've never seen, like, until you told me about this, I had no idea what this was.
The Gibson Corvus. Oh. What can you say, but also just why?
It looks like the weapon that those Star Wars pigs have.
Oh, like the axe?
Yeah, It kind of looks like that.
Yes.
I don't know.
This particular one that we're looking at has a collar tremolo on it. Known piece of tone sorcery.
I know, right? What if you want to like swap out the pick guard? What are your options?
You're gonna get a tortoise version of
I want a tortoise shell version.
Or you know what's the worst, which is like would make this already ugly pick guard even worse, is that like gray perloid stuff.
Oh my gosh, perloid and tortoise. It's like, guys, come on.
But like it's like that weird. You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about, and yeah, that would somehow make this worse.
Like
apparently
late '80s dad rock deluxe.
Perfect. So this is the early '80s Gibson.
Early '80s. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure the body is not even made of wood. It's made of some weird like composite styrofoam.
Cutting edge stuff.
Yeah, new and unimproved.
Yeah, I like
the situation.
I like the rig that it's sitting in front of with like the hot girl decal in the bottom left.
Oh, I believe colloquially referred to as a mud flap girl.
Yep. Did that come with it in the hard shell case? A mud flap girl thing to stick in the bottom of your crate 4-bed?
The sad part is that I know that is not added. That PV actually did that.
Are you serious?
I'm not even.
That could be a whole other video. Like, mud flap girl came with the PV cab. All right. Anyways, that's number 5. We got to go to number 4. Okay. So up next, this again. I had no idea this was a thing. Curtis, can you tell us what I'm looking at here?
Okay. So these are 2 Kramer guitars, both of which boggle the mind.
So they're separate guitars, by the way. Like
this is remarkable to me that someone could have 2 ideas this bad, like in one series. Like I have this idea, and just in case you thought that wasn't
my backup was this idea.
Here's another one coming right at you.
So let's start with the Enterprise.
Double whammy.
Let's start with the Enterprise. So it has an extra piece of wood.
Okay, so yes,
connects the headstock.
In case it's not clear from the photo, there is like the body and the neck and the headstock. There is an extra piece of wood that comes from the lower, extremely sharp horn of the body and goes to the end of the hockey stick headstock. I will say, we mentioned earlier that I did some vintage stuff for Guitar Center.
Yeah.
Almost all of these that you see, that piece of wood is either gone entirely, or if it is still there, has been re-glued several times.
Of course.
Usually not by a professional.
Oh, really? Not an authorized Kramer service tech that trained in the Enterprise?
Usually it's like some kid went at it with like some Elmers. You know?
Yeah, no. That's, I think also part of the spirit of this guitar is like, what can we make the biggest, widest hardshell case for?
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like,
also, just quick bit of history. These were designed for Kramer by Floyd Rose, same guy that made the bridge. Basically in the early 80s, Sam Ash, when they had their storefront on 48th Street in New York, they had all these crazy looking guitars in the window, and Kramer wanted to get in on the action of the crazy guitars.
It's hot.
And somehow Floyd Rose had gotten wind of this, and Floyd Rose said, "Well, I'll design you some crazy guitars."
Did someone call Floyd Rose?
This was the answer.
So, and then we have the Triax, which fits Pangea style into the Enterprise. Is there a Star Trek thing here? Like Enterprise, the Triax looks like a Romulan battleship.
I mean,
I don't know. Anyway, so
we just talked about the Triax, perhaps the most impractical headstock of all time. Like, I don't know if you noticed this, but if we can get, when we edit this, a little zoom shot of that headstock, it has little metal things on the headstock so it can support the strings going past the nut like normal, and then taking a sharp right or left turn to be able to make it to their respective tuning pegs.
That's great. Well, you can clip the tuner to one side. Anyways, enough of this. I can't talk about this anymore. I'm gonna have nightmares. Like, the asymmetry of how these are locking together is really causing something deep in my soul to be bothered.
Yeah, but also Clapton played one at Royal Albert Hall, so for sure, definitely, without a doubt.
Legendary performance. Number 3 worst guitar of all time. Anything BC Rich has ever made.
All of them.
all of
Every
BC
single
Rich.
one.
I used to think some of them were kind of cool.
Yeah, although if I had to pick one to be the worst, I'm going to go Warlock. This guy, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. I almost kind of tip my cap to BC Rich, though. I feel like they own it a little bit.
They definitely own it. They embrace it for sure.
Yeah, the names are cool.
The Mockingbird. Very aggressive Mockingbird. Most Mockingbirds.
I've never seen a Mockingbird like. Hey, whatever.
Also, can we just talk about how awesome it is that, except for one, every single one of the guitars here that has a 6-in-line headstock is reverse headstock?
Oh yeah! Look at that.
That's a choice. Which, by the way, if you're wondering, the ones that do not have reverse headstock, except for this thing, which looks like a weapon.
They all look like weapons. I mean,
that's true. We have this guy that has a headstock that looks like it's the head of an insect of some sort. And then the other ones that don't have reverse headstock, we have this guy, which is called the Bitch, spelled B-I-C-H, and it has 10 strings. You're wondering, 10 strings.
Is this all true?
Yeah, no, seriously, this is how much of a disgusting gear nerd I am. Even though I have no interest in this, I still know this.
You gotta know every little detail,
which
man.
is even more sad.
That's what makes you the best.
Has 10 strings, and then the only other one that does not have reverse headstock is a double neck version of the Bitch. Again, spelled B-I-C-H.
Yeah,
the Biche.
The Biche. It's French.
Yeah.
BC Riche. Yeah.
Bernard.
For the guitar connoisseur. Anyway, on to number 2.
Number 2.
The number 2 most hideous guitar of all time. This is something else that I just learned about.
I mean, the worst, but also patriotism, you know?
Gibson map?
The map guitar.
The map guitar.
Which,
The contiguous map, not 48.
the important ones.
Yeah. Oh, shots fired. All right, so tell me the story of this. I've never seen this guitar. Probably assuming because Gibson has tried to put it out of existence.
So Gibson did a lot of things in 1976 for the bicentennial of the nation. I think that the map was slightly after. I do not think that the map first started in 76. Maybe it did, but
R&D for this thing probably started in 76 and then, ramped up.
But most of these were produced probably 81 to 85 in there. Most of the ones that you see will be natural, just straight up mahogany. But if you really get lucky, you can find this gem. Just stars and stripes.
And then it looks shockingly more like the Confederate flag than the American flag.
Yes.
For some reason.
It also looks like the paint job on Herbie. the animate Volkswagen Beetle.
Yes, exactly. I like how Florida is like the cutaway.
Yeah.
That's like interesting.
Like you have like the upper horn here is kind of like the bitterness of the northeastern seaboard. And then just from, neck pickup down is all just Florida man.
Can we talk about how the Pacific Northwest just like gets shafted? We're not going to do anything. Like we're just going to leave that one like wide open.
I mean, Portland wasn't really cool yet when this
that's right.
guitar was made.
Undiscovered, perhaps.
Right.
Even,
Exactly. Like Fred Armisen had not yet discovered it.
I love it. I love the knobs, the volume and tone knobs.
Oh man, we need to find a photo of the other version of this guitar though, because
I'll put it up.
this one has only 2 knobs. The other one is Les Paul style. It's got like volume, tone, but like they're all in a row.
Wait, what is it? Is this a third knob or is that a switch?
That's the jack. That's the jack.
Oh, that was of course the jack is on the.
But the other version of this, we can Google during a video. We got this.
Yeah, of course. All right, so
we're pros.
He skipped number 1. I don't know. Spoiler alert, number 1 just popped up.
This is what I was looking for, though.
This is what do you call it? The natural map?
Look, the knob layout is fantastic. So Jack has moved to the side, but then there's this whole situation.
This is natural America.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Before the politicians screwed it up. Yeah, the symmetry of where the bridge is.
Yeah.
Doesn't really.
I'm pretty sure they stole this bridge. Speaking of bridges, from Washburn. Not like they stole the design.
Washburn's like, you know what? It's okay.
But not like they stole the design. Like they literally like stole it from Washburn.
A heist.
Yeah. Exactly.
A Gibson map heist led by Nicolas Cage.
National Treasure, the prequel.
Stealing the Washburn Bridge for the map.
Put on this piece of shit.
You're like, how is this not number 1? Right?
Oh.
You're like,
how is this not number 1? You say that now, but that's because you haven't seen number 1. Can you imagine the poor that made this guitar? He finished this and was like, yes! This is my masterpiece!
This is Paul Reed Smith?
Oh, right? Yeah.
Private stock?
Yeah.
So, alright, so this kind of breaks our rule about being in production.
No, yeah, this is a one-off. But also, perhaps the most glorious one-off of all time.
I like how the tiger's like rolling the tone off. This is so bad, man. I don't know.
Believe it or not, this actually predates Tiger King.
Wow. Well, not the man.
No.
But the show.
The show.
So
this is not a Carole Baskin protest guitar.
So the reason this is number 1 is because it's such a. I'm sure this plays great.
Oh,
fierce.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the best part, is that this guitar, as ugly as it is, probably actually is the best sounding of of the
Oh,
bunch.
for sure. This is probably the best guitar that anyone would ever play, even.
Yes.
I'm sure it's like every PRS plays great. The Tiger is just a little... I don't know how to even describe it.
Also, I don't know if we can maybe get like a couple other angles of this when we do the edit, but the Tiger is carved into the top. It's not painted. Like, this is like a 3-dimensional, one-armed tiger with no body.
Like, the proportions don't really seem right on the Tiger. Maybe that's just the angle that it's coming at.
I mean, also just, where is the rest of the Tiger?
I've got a lot of questions on this one.
I would understand if he was positioned so it seemed like more like he was like ripping through the top of the guitar.
Sure, that'd be cool. Yeah, maybe chasing the birds. Like he's got the eye on the birds or something like that.
But are there still birds? Oh, there are still birds.
Yeah, they're birds still.
That would be awesome, actually.
Yeah,
if the
right?
tiger on the body of the guitar was like
had
about
potential.
to just pounce on some of the PRS birds.
Yeah, the Tiger slays me. Absolutely slays me.
They have a trademark on that. No other guitar company can put birds on a fretboard.
Love that. Love that for other guitar companies.
Like, they came up with all these cool design features and, like, you know, different ways to, like, split pickups and, like, whatever. And they're like, you know what, we got a trademark? The birds.
Yeah, We can copy off the exact shape of a Stratocaster, Les Paul, whatever you want. Birds on a fretboard? Nah.
John Mayer, we need to talk.
Hey, you said it. I'm not touching that one. I want to give special consideration to the reverse flying V. Right?
Oh.
My boy Sammy G, Samurai Guitarist, loves his reverse flying V.
You know what, like, gives me, like, slight respect for the reverse flying V, is, number one, I feel like it's a little bit self-aware.
It is, right?
Yeah, they know it's ridiculous. Like, this.
Someone was like, "It's a Tiger, right?"
It's like, hey, you want a guitar with a tiger on it?
You came to the right place.
I'll show you the realest shit you've ever seen in your life.
Buckle up.
But reverse flying V. Okay, sorry. Let's just take a minute.
Reverse flying V is like, yeah, okay, we get it. Flying V is cool. Let's reverse it.
But also slight street cred because Davy Johnstone from Elton John's band plays one.
Sure. It's a statement. It's a statement piece.
Yeah. And also, like, him playing a reverse flying V probably sounds better than, like, most guitar players you've ever heard in your life playing anything.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I almost feel like we did the Gibson map a disservice by putting it second, but you sprung this Tiger thing on us right at the buzzer, and
okay, so Sean, like, gives me the burden of figuring out what the ugliest guitars are, and I'm like, okay, I want to, like, come up with some doozies, but at the same time I don't want to, like, condemn anything that's like, undeserving.
Yeah.
And I had like 3 or 4 that were like pretty solid, and I was like, man, what's the number one gonna be? I gotta come up with something that's like unforgivable, but at the same time, like, you know,
unforgettable.
Yeah,
I think you did this.
the Tiger. Oh man, you can see his eyes, but you know he's clean.
And on that, and on that one,
that's a little Dio shout out.
Oh, you don't need to say it. You don't need to say it.
All right, James,
come on, man. Dio's my boy. I'm Team Dio all the way, by the way, in case anybody was wondering. No shade.
Rest in peace.
But actually, though. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Ooh, whoa.
Wait, no, let's not get him started. All right,
separate video right there.
Curtis, thank you for coming on and doing God's work here.
Thank you.
And if you have any questions for the man, please let us know. If there's something that we missed.
If you know of a guitar uglier than any of the ones that we listed, please post it in the comments.
And we'll get back to you and tell you why you're wrong.
Peace.
There we go.